Yo, what's up everybody? Icy here and welcome to another NBA preseason video. This one is for October 17, 2019, 5-game slate. I'll be going through each game one at a time and talking about my favorite plays, minute projections, matchups, and then I will go through each position and talk about my favorite plays, the prices, and construct a dummy lineup. Before I do, I just want to recap last night. I ended up almost quadrupling up my buy-ins. I did really well considering I had Russell Westbrook and Whiteside in every single lineup. I basically had a core of Harden, McCollum, Gallinari, Jaren Jackson, Westbrook, and Whiteside in every lineup. It's just unfortunate Whiteside rolled his ankle and Westbrook got into foul trouble and they had to put a muzzle on Westbrook, man. He couldn't be his pit bull self. The other guys went off. Jordan Poole was doing really good until the fourth quarter started, and then he missed like 3 or 4 3-pointers, turned the ball over a couple times, and his teammates just stopped passing him the ball. I dodged the bullet with Anthony Davis. I wasn't really too keen on him. I didn't think the matchup would be competitive whatsoever, so I just didn't pick him. LeBron did decent, but he had like no ownership, so dodged the bullet with AD though. Ended up cashing, what was good. Hopefully you guys ended up cashing, which would be phenomenal. I was pretty spot on with a lot of my picks yesterday. If you watched my video, I even talked about Dillon Brooks, 3.3%. I was really high on DeJounte Murray. I told you guys Westbrook and Harden take a lot of shots. There's going to be a lot of rebounding opportunity, a lot of second chance, a lot of balls in their hands, more than often than regular games, because defensive rebounds for the team turn into opportunities on the other end. Anyways, today's another day. You guys aren't here for the recap. You guys are here for the take, so let's get right into that. First game we got is Miami Heat versus the Orlando Magic. Now, the Miami Heat are on a front end of a back-to-back here. You really have to pay attention to the news because I don't know if they're going to be benching starters or what's going on. So far, Miami's been playing their starters preseason minutes around 20 to 24. Not too much. Jimmy Butler has really not been that great. His price is too damn cheap though, man. $5,300. Jimmy Butler is someone I'm going to be playing in a lot of my lineups. Bam Adebayo, another guy. Bam Bam's really cheap. He's been performing in the preseason really well. He's just like a well-oiled machine at this point. He's just doing what he was doing last year, and he's just doing it at a good rate. He doesn't really have anybody to compete with at this time. He knows the position's his. He's really made it his own. He's just getting used to his new teammates. The coaching staff, the fans love him. Bam Bam is really safe at 6,300 in my opinion. But Jimmy Butler at 5,300 is too cheap and someone that could easily get 30 Draftkings points in preseason minutes. He has yet to really go off in preseason, and I expect him to start getting that shit together as the season gets into gear. He seemed to really want to get his new teammates involved. He's been passing up the ball more. He's been, talking and leading, telling them where to be, what to do, and really trying to set his teammates up for success. And he really just takes over in the third quarter, towards the end of the second quarter, before he's taken off. Dragic and Winslow, I don't really like the pace of this game that much in the matchup. However, Orlando's been having trouble keeping the ball in their hands. They've been turning it over a lot. This would be a good opportunity for Dragic and Winslow to see the ball in their hands a little bit more and a little bit more opportunity to shoot the ball, considering Jimmy Butler is in his Christmas form and he's just in a giving mood, man. He's just giving the ball up to everybody and letting everybody else eat right now, and he's not worried about eating. He's well fed, so he's just feeding his teammates, and they're in a position here where they could go off. Dragic probably is going to see limited amount of minutes in any case scenario with his injury history. Winslow is the one that probably is going to see a little bit of extended run, but with Tyler Hero breathing down his neck and the fans really wanting to see him and his hot start and all of that, he's someone that's probably going to be taking some of Winslow's minutes as the season progresses. Tyler Hero's price is just a little bit too high for me right here, knowing that the starters are probably going to start. But if we get any news that the starters are going to be reduced or restricted in any way, shape, or form, then Tyler Hero is someone that instantly jumps to me. Another person that instantly jumps to me in that scenario, if the starters are limited, is someone like Kendrick Nunn's. Kendrick Nunn's also been really performing well in the playoffs when given the opportunity. He performed better than Tyler Hero in one of the games outright. So he's someone I would really consider too. And then Mayonnaise Myers Leonard is someone also that's been starting and getting starter type minutes in the preseason. Not starter type minutes. He's in the starting role and getting preseason minutes as like starter preseason minutes. Like so 24 minutes he's getting around. And he's been performing really well. It's a good matchup here for him. The size is going to be needed against Vucevic, Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac. It's a good spot for them. And on top of that, Miami and Orlando are both playoff worthy teams. Both teams are going to be fighting for the playoffs, seeding, and all of that. It's a good opportunity for Miami to see how their newly assembled team lines up with the Orlando Magic. And it's a good opportunity for the Orlando Magic to get their shit together in their last preseason game. So that makes me go to the Orlando Magic. So on the Orlando Magic, Coach Steve Clifford said that Vucevic and Terrence Ross would be playing, and he's hoping to give his starting guys an extended run here. Now that it's the end of the preseason, he really wants to end the preseason on a high note going into the season. So this is going to be kind of like a dress rehearsal for them. Vucevic is in play here, 7,400, always in play. This guy can easily get 2 points per minute, in my opinion, very easily on most nights. This matchup here is going to be a little bit tougher. Miami is a little defense-oriented team. They don't like people scoring on them that much, and Bam Bam's a good protector and all that. But Vucevic is Vucevic. He has a lot of upside. He has a decent floor, so he's someone I'd consider. His price is a little bit up there. There's some other pay-up options I would probably end up considering over Vucevic, but he's someone that you always consider regardless. Aaron Gordon, 7,100 against Miami. I'm not too fond of that. I don't know. Aaron Gordon's just someone that's hit or miss for me on most occasions. He follows a good game with a bad game on most cases. Very rarely does he go on a run. He did have a bad game recently, and knowing that they're going to be playing extended minutes and seeing extended run here, Aaron Gordon would be in play at 7,100. However, he's not someone I'm too high on or too keen on personally. But 7,100, the matchup projection, he's in play. Terrence Ross coming off of an injury, very volume scoring dependent guy. He comes off the bench to provide an instant spark for the team. He's going to be seeing extended minutes here. He's someone that could go for in a shooting contest with Tyler Hero. I said the other day I foresaw Tyler Hero and Trae Young getting into a shooting contest, and that's basically what happened. But I see Terrence Ross and Tyler Hero doing the same thing, going shot for shot basically in the preseason game. So he's in play. He can also get 30 Draftkings points very, very quickly in limited minutes if he gets hot. Jonathan Isaac at 5,600. I will consider again. His price got a little bit too high initially at 6,500, but 5,600 is something I don't mind at all. MCW, Michael Carter Williams, and Markelle Fultz are two guys that have been doing decent in the preseason so far. Markelle Fultz is really rewriting his career. I don't really like his matchup, particularly with the Miami Heat, but it is against Jimmy Butler, who he was teammates with for a short while in Philadelphia before he was traded. Maybe he has some hidden fire in him that wants to go out there to show Jimmy, like, see, man, because Jimmy Butler really believed in this kid, and he really defended him, but it was just the shit in his head. Now maybe that shit's gone, and he goes out there and he shows his good friend Jimmy Butler, like, hey, man, thanks for believing in me. Boom, splash in your face. Maybe that happens. I doubt it, though, but it could happen. GPP play for me only. Michael Carter Williams, another guy, former Rookie of the Year. He could go off in limited amount of time, so he's in consideration for me. However, I don't really like the matchup, and at this price, I'm probably going to go with other guys. But he's someone I'd be considering if I was just playing a showdown or something, and definitely someone I'd consider. Mo Bamba has yet to find a consistent stride here. He's been on and off. He's been restricted in some games, dealing with some lingering shit in another game. So the matchup here is good. They're going to need his size and his strength here against the Miami team with Myers Leonard and Bam Bam. But at this price and based on his current form, I'm not too fond of him, and I don't know how much I would be playing him. I'm going to consider him for sure. He can go off. He can get 30 Draftkings points in limited minutes too. Lots of rebounding, lots of double upside for Mo Bamba. But he also has foul trouble history. He has a little bit of a injury knock type of history. They're careful with his minutes. They monitor it a lot. So he's someone that I won't be playing a lot unless we get some news that someone else might not be playing that many minutes. Moving on to the Atlanta Hawks and the Chicago Bulls. The Atlanta Hawks are in their final preseason game. They're coming off of a hard-fought win against the mighty New York Knicks. I'm pretty sure some guys are going to end up getting benched here. Someone like Jabari Parker particularly. But maybe some of the young guys still get some run here. I know Trae Young's probably going to be telling the coach, hey, coach, you really got to put me in, coach. I don't want to sit out this one. I really want to go into the season playing hot, okay, coach? And you got to tell the teammates, they really got to pass me the ball, coach. I don't like it when the teammate only passes me the ball 50 times, okay? They got to pass me the ball like 100 times, okay? Because I'm passing them the ball like 20 times and like they're not making their shots. So I got to do everything. So they got to pass me the ball, coach. So I think he's going to talk his way into starting this game and playing. Another rematch with Zach LaVine here. Trae Young's just a high volume, high upside guy, high usage. They use him a lot. If he ends up playing, I really like him. 8,100 is still cheap in my opinion for the amount, how fast this guy can go off and how fast the pace of this game is going to be. I think both of these teams are going to take this preseason game a little seriously, especially the Bulls. The Bulls really need another win in this preseason. This is their last preseason game of the season as well, so they're going to want to get their guys a good run here. They finally announced Satoransky as their starter, so with those things considered, on the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young would probably be my favorite play here. After that, John Collins at 5,100 is too freaking cheap, man. If John Collins is playing, he's definitely someone I'm considering 100% of my lineups. 5,100, man, that's too damn cheap. I don't care if he's playing 20 minutes. Like, 5,100 at 20, even 15 minutes of 5,100 John Collins, I will take, man. Look, John Collins causing me nothing but problems. John Collins averaged 36.9 fantasy points last season, 29.6 minutes played. He's someone that could drop 62s, 50s, like no problemo. So John Collins in a great matchup against the shitty Chicago Bulls, I'll take that. This was the one game he played and he was coming back from an injury. I looked it up because I was like, that didn't make sense to me. That's why I ended up playing John Collins yesterday too. Some stuff doesn't make sense. You sometimes have to look it up. If you see like one game history, they only played one game in the past and it was a bad game, look it up. Maybe the guy was coming back from an injury or something and he just wasn't 100%. And that was the case for John Collins last time against the Bulls. So he's someone in play for me 100% at 5,100, especially if Jabari Parker's not playing, especially if Alex Len's not playing, because these are some of the older guys. Alex Len's not that old, but who knows? They might want to give him some rest here with Jones and Fernando wanting some extra run here. But John Collins at 15 to 20 minutes, if he's going to play at least that, I will consider him. Aside from that, DeAndre Bembry, if he plays 4,500, is in play for me. He's, as I said in yesterday's video, I was really high on DeAndre Bembry as well. I said he's been getting the ball a lot. He is the secondary ball handler now. He's the backup point guard, basically. And he's going to be seeing the ball in his hands a lot. And when you have the ball in your hand a lot, you usually tend to either get an assist or put up some points or do something more often than none. So he's someone in play. On top of that, he has great scoring upside and he's a good defender, so he can get you steals and all that stuff. Against the Chicago Bulls team, a young team, some reckless shots, lots of rebounds, opportunity for steals. I like Bembry. I'm just hoping the Atlanta Hawks play. You really got to keep your eye on the news on this one because they just played last night and it was a hard-fought game against the mighty New York Knicks. They played well into the fourth quarter, so you got to keep your eye on the news for this one. Aside from that, if Alex Len plays, he'd be in play for me. Especially if John Collins sits, he'd definitely be in play for me. If Trae Young sits and Bembry, if Trae Young and John Collins sits, basically I would play Bembry and Alex Len all day. And then between Jones and Fernando, it'd be a toss-up. I've seen Fernando get additional run here and perform on some nights, but Jones also has good upside. So you can make a decision in GPPs as a sneaky play there if those guys end up sitting. But John Collins, Trae Young, John Collins in particular, 5,100, man, come on, too cheap. All right, moving on to the Chicago Bulls. Sorry, my throat's dry. On the Chicago Bulls, this will probably be a dress rehearsal for them. This is a better matchup for Otto Porter here. 5,200. I really like Otto Porter. Kobe White at 5,100 is a little too expensive, but he has been getting a lot of run in the second unit for them, especially when the starters were out. They really went to him. He's performed well in almost every single preseason game. His lowest scoring preseason game was 14 points, I believe. So he's someone that's been doing really well in the preseason. In the Atlanta Hawks, he finds a really, really good matchup. Great opportunity, great pace flow of the game. Lots of turnovers from Trae Young. Lots of second chance opportunities for the Chicago Bulls here. I like Kobe White. I like Otto Porter. I like Satoransky. I like Markkanen. I like Levine. I like all 6 of these guys. If I had to pick my favorite top play on the slate from the Chicago Bulls side, if the Atlanta Hawks starters are all starting, if they're all starting, then I really like Zach LaVine. If those guys aren't all starting, then I like Satoransky. My reason for that is, while I feel like Zach LaVine is going to go off against non-starters, if Trae Young and John Collins end up sitting, the Bulls aren't really going to risk him with his injury history, and he'll probably see a little bit reduced minute, even if it is a dress rehearsal. Kobe White's probably going to see a little bit more run. Chris Dunn's probably going to see a little bit extra minutes, even though he's now lost his starting spot to Satoransky. And Satoransky's going to see additional run. Satoransky's a good player. He's a great lots of upside. He gets you assists. He scores points. He does all the nitty gritty stuff, and he gets some rebounds. So I like Satoransky. Great player. He always came through for the Washington Wizards, time and time and again last season. He's someone I definitely high on, and this matchup is great for him. So he'd be one of the guys I'd definitely go to if we find out the Atlanta Hawks aren't playing their starters and the Bulls are still treating this as a dress rehearsal. But yeah, Satoransky, Levine, I really like. Kobe White and Otto Porter are the other 2 guys I like. Marketing at this price, I don't know. Power forward, center, there's some other guys I probably would go on at this slate. So probably not for me today. But some lineups I will have them, just not too high. Maybe in 5-10% of my lineups I'll have marketing. Alright, moving along to the Minnesota and Milwaukee Bucks. Cross rivals. These guys are cross-divisional rivals. They're very close to each other on the map, I think. And this is just a good matchup, man. 2 similar demographics, I should say. Fuck. But yeah, both of these teams are in the last preseason game. Should be a dress season rehearsal for both of them. They're both going to want to be going into this season in good form. The Timberwolves... Where are the Timberwolves? Alright. The Timberwolves are 1-2 in the preseason. The Bucks have not lost. The Bucks have looked like a well-oiled machine in the preseason so far, while the Timberwolves have, some players have and some players just clearly have not. Last game was really good for the Timberwolves. Covington really went off, really did good. Towns did fantastic. Culver really, showed the fans what they wanted to see and had a stellar game. Look for that to continue. But yeah, starting with the Timberwolves here in this game, one of my favorite plays on the board would be Jarrett Culver. He's really coming into his own over here and getting the starting minutes now. If he starts, which I think he will, I'm pretty sure he starts. I'm pretty sure he starts and Jake Layman comes off the bench. But in any case, I still like him. His price is a little higher now. Jake Layman's also a good pick at 4,500, but Jarrett Culver has a lot of upside. He's definitely going to be finishing the game if he's not starting it. Tremendous upside. The Timberwolves have found something in this guy, and they're going to want to get the most out of him as quickly as possible if they want to not be the laughing stock of the season. Wiggins is just terrible. 4,800 is too cheap for Wiggins, though, man. As much as I hate Wiggins, again, as much as I see hates Wiggins, as much as I hate Wiggins, 4,800 is too cheap, man. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a dress rehearsal too for the Timberwolves, being their last preseason game here. Um, they did finally win a preseason game, so who knows? They're in high spirits here. They're coming up against a juggernaut of a team in the Milwaukee Bucks. But Karl Anthony Towns for sure is in play for me. 9,200. I don't care. He's gonna be seeing minutes. He's a very good player. He got 60 last time around. Even if he gets a 50, I'll be happy. Jarrett Culver, as I said, someone that the Timberwolves should be really high on as the season progresses. Jeff Teague is in play, 5,100, very cheap, should be seeing starter minutes. This is probably the game I'm stacking, to be honest here. I like the matchup here. It's not going to be too slow-paced of a game. Both teams should be playing their guys a good amount of minutes here, and it should be a good competitive atmosphere. That's what I look for in these type of slates. And yeah, Andrew Wiggins, Jeff Teague, definitely in play for me. Very, very safe. Very, very... Wiggins not really safe, but 4,800, man, like, what the hell? Like, that's too cheap. He's probably just gonna... He's due for a game. Like, he's been doing so bad and mediocre that he's due for a decent Wiggins game. As I said before, Wiggins plays up to the competition, and the Milwaukee Bucks are a really, really good team. This is a type of game where that Wiggins wakes up in the morning and he feels happy and motivated and wants to play basketball. So I could totally see Wiggins going off today. This is a great spot for Wiggins and someone I'm definitely going to be playing. Aside from that, Jake Lehman I would look at. Naz Reid I would look at. Robert Covington for sure. He's probably going to be starting. And he seemed to have found his form in the last game. Jordan Bell might be seeing a little bit of more minutes, I believe, but Robert Covington's where it would start with me. Karl Anthony Towns, Jeff Teague, Andrew Wiggins. These are three guys I really like. Covington I also like, but I feel like his minutes might be a little bit restricted here. So yeah, moving along to the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo is in play for me 100%. I'm pretty sure he plays the last game of the preseason. But not much to say about Giannis. Matchup proof. Middleton at 6,300 I would consider. I kind of like Middleton at 6,300. However, with Giannis playing and all these other guys, I'm not sure how much Middleton really eats. So he'd be in my lineups, but not as much as I would on some other nights. Brook Lopez I probably wouldn't go with here. Although Brook Lopez is a guy that can randomly go off and have good nights. You could just you could get like 30 DraftKings points in one quarter and make like 6 threes, and then yeah, next game gets you 3 DraftKings points total. That can happen. Wesley Matthews is someone the Bucks are gonna want to get going ASAP. He's someone they brought in to really provide a spark off the bench now that Malcolm Brogdon left. Maybe even as a starter, I think, in a starter capacity. Actually, it is the starter capacity. What am I talking about? He is the starter. But yeah, he's yet to really go off in the preseason. So he's someone that's in a good spot here, good position here against Andrew Wiggins, who doesn't really play defense. Dragon Bender has been doing really, really well in the preseason. Dante DiVincenzo is another guy that's been doing really well in the preseason. And Sterling Brown's another guy that's been getting minutes in the preseason. All three of these guys I would consider in GPPs in some capacity. I'd be alternating them here and there as my cheap punt options for my stars and scrub lineups, if that's what I end up going with. But yeah, Bender, DiVincenzo, Sterling Brown, both these guys are in play for me. But Giannis, obviously, favorite play. Dragon Bender would probably be my favorite play out of the three guys I mentioned. Dragon Bender, DiVincenzo, Sterling Brown. Ilyasova has been seeing a lot of minutes too, but with Antetokounmpo back, he's probably going to see a little bit less compared to last game. If the game ends up blowing out, then Dragon Bender is going to see a lot of the fourth quarter, and he's a PPM monster. He can go off in a limited amount of time, someone that could just really win you a slate. But if it's a dress rehearsal, I'd be less on these four guys: Dante, Dragon Bender, Sterling Brown, especially Dragon Bender and Ilyasova because they're the forward position. If it's a dress rehearsal for the Bucks, I'm more keen to play DiVincenzo or Sterling Brown than Ilyasova or Bender. If any of these guys if it's not a dress rehearsal and any of these guys are going to see reduced minutes or monitored minutes, then I'd be keen to play Dragon Bender. Alright, moving along to the Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets. The Portland Trailblazers just played last night. I really think they're going to end up benching a lot of their starters here, especially since Whiteside ended up picking up a little injury. I don't know if he plays. I doubt he plays today. I think they're just going to be cautious with them, considering they're very short at that position with experience, at least. They're up against a Denver team who they met in the Western Conference semifinals, someone that they're very familiar with. I don't think they need to see what Denver really has here. They have a good idea. Denver just added Jeremy Grant, basically. They have a Michael Porter Jr. now and one or two guys left, but it's essentially the same Denver Nuggets core team, and they know what to expect with Denver. They don't need to see them too much here and exert their guys too much here. Maybe Lillard and them play a little bit, but I have a strong feeling that they're not going to be playing today and they're going to be benched. With that said, Zach Collins is someone that's probably going to be playing. He's someone I like regardless. Whiteside is not going to be playing, so Zach Collins is going to have to see a little bit more extended minutes. They might want to take this opportunity to see how the other players integrate with Zach Collins acting as the primary center here. It was mainly Nurkic, Cantor last year, and Zach Collins would be filling off the bench. They had Myers Leonard also last year who would be doing that. So it's really Zach Collins this year, and now they have Labassiere here. So they might want to run their main team a little bit here and see how that works and give their guys a little bit of an idea and insight how to work with that. But again, I have a strong feeling they're not going to really risk any of their guys like that, and they're going to really restrict their minutes or even bench them outright. If they end up playing, McCollum is someone I like, 6,100, very cheap. Zach Collins, I'm playing regardless. I like him. Herzonia is someone I would really consider at 4,100, almost minimum. And Labassiere is someone I would play a lot too, for sure. Rodney Hood and Bazemore. If Lillard and McCollum are out, Rodney Hood and Bazemore are two guys that are instant plays for me. Both of these guys were go-to guys in the playoffs when they were playing their four guard lineup against the Golden State Warriors. Both these guys took turns going off. Kent Fademore, that's his name to me. I usually fade him, but it's a new season. He's on a new team. Not a new team, but it's a new season, a new beginning for my man. And, yeah, it is a new team for him. So, hey, hopefully it's a good change of scenery for this guy. So far, this guy was going shot for shot with Lillard at the half court line yesterday, and he actually won. So maybe he brings that form with them into this game if these guys aren't playing. But if they're playing, I'd be less keen to play Bazemore and Rodney Hood. However, if Lillard and McCollum aren't playing, then give me Bazemore and Rodney Hood, man. On the Denver Nuggets side, this might be another dress rehearsal type game for them. Jokic only saw 19 minutes last game, which kind of sucked. He got into foul trouble that really was bad. Look for him to bounce back here. His ownership might be a little low based on that and based on the late game matchup too. His matchup should be really good against Zach Collins. He should essentially just be able to bully his way through. Denver's very stacked, very good team. They ended up beating Portland in the playoffs last year in the 7-game series. Jokic played a key role in that. Murray played a key role in that. So both Murray and Jokic are in play for me. Murray at 5,300 is very cheap. There's a lot of cheap options here today. Wow, like their prices got reduced by a lot. Paul Millsap, I don't know. He could easily go off, but I don't know how much minutes they really want to play Millsap, especially since he didn't play last game. They held him out. So he is one of their older players, and he does have an injury history, and Portland probably will be benching their starters, so not a good spot to play Millsap. So I don't know, but they could dress rehearse it, and he could get run, and he could hit value at this price very easily in limited minutes. So he'd be in play for me, but just not someone I'm too favorable on. Jeremy Grant, on the other hand, I do like in any situation. He's still going to see 20 to 25 minutes, and he's going to be playing against some true bums, and he has the potential to go off. Great three-point guy, great defender, 3-and-D player. Like him here. Malik Beasley, I don't know. all these guys, I don't really know. Like, I will maybe play them in some capacity, maybe as I find out who's going to be playing how many minutes, or if anyone's not going to be playing today. They sometimes take turns benching Will Barton, Malik Beasley, and Torrey Craig because they still haven't figured out who's their starting shooting guard, small forward, I guess, or who's their starting small forward, I should say. So these guys are still working it out and fighting for that. So maybe one of them gets benched today, so the other gets an extended look. Look for that. But yeah, just follow the news very closely here. If it's a dress rehearsal, Jokic, Murray are my two favorite plays. Gary Harris, I would also consider as a starter. If he gets started, he's going to see 26, 28, 29 minutes at 4,400. He'd be in play for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All these other guys, obvious consideration. They can all hit value, but they're all going to be seeing like split minutes around 19 or something like that. So I'm not too fond of that. Plus the matchup, if Portland benches all their guys, then that sucks, right? Alright, last game of the slate. I'll try to speed this one up because I made a 30-minute video somehow. Luka Doncic is in play for me. Porzingis is in play for me. I'm expecting Porzingis to get run here because A, Clippers are a playoff team. They're going to want to see how they match up together. B, Porzingis is still coming back from a long injury and he still needs to get more minutes under his feet. 3, they're going to want to see Luka and KP develop real chemistry and get better and better real quick so they don't have a slow start to the season. And that's about it. 4D, Porzingis has been killing it in the preseason. He's been playing around 24, 27 minutes, and I expect something similar. 7,200 is too cheap for a guy like Porzingis who could easily go off and kill it. So he's someone I will be playing a lot. Luka Doncic, former Rookie of the Year, going up against the MVP of the playoffs. Great spot for him. He's sort of not been himself yet, but I expect him to really... he's been well, but we haven't seen that Luka game yet, right? Like, that one preseason game was good. The last one was alright, but this is the spot where we could see a true Luka game here, in my opinion. I really like Luka Doncic. What else is there? Bojan Marjanovic is someone. Boban, called him Bojan. Boban is someone that's also in consideration here. Point per minute monster. Clippers don't really have anybody to stop him, and he used to play on the Clippers. He could be extra motivated to really dunk on them, you know. So he's someone I'd consider. Maxi Kleber, Delon Wright, Tim Hardaway Jr., all in consideration. Tim Hardaway would be the guy I would most likely go to as the third option on this team. 5,000 is very cheap for his upside. He just has a low floor. He could go out there and drop a dud, or he could go out there and drop 30. I like that. Delon Wright's yet to really find his stride. Dallas Mavericks really high on this kid. I was really high on Delon Wright, but so far he hasn't found his stride on this Mavericks team. Hopefully he does. Maybe he does against this Clippers team, but it's a riskier play in my opinion. Seth Curry, we don't know if he's going to play. If he plays, I still don't like him. But Boban is the guy I'm really looking at over here as someone that could provide a real spark to your lineups. Aside from that, Justin Jackson is someone that's probably getting the starting small forward position. He's shooting like 63% from the field and 40% from three-point range. And he's also been playing really good defense. Look for him to get extended minutes here. And this is a good spot for him to go off, in my opinion. I'm not sure how he does against the Clippers on average, especially now that they have a Kawhi Leonard, who he might see in some parts of the game. Kawhi is probably playing, in my opinion, based on what I've seen in the Twitterverse, his scrimmages. However, they did play a game against some Australian team the other day, and they probably flew back or something. So, or maybe the Australian team played in LA. I gotta check that. But in any case, I feel like Kawhi is playing based on what I saw in the Twitter scrimmage videos. But Justin Jackson, someone that's been really getting the plaudits of the Mavericks coaching staff, and someone that I expect to see extra minutes here. He can get hot. He's not really shy to shoot. So if he does get hot at 4,100, he'd be someone that would make you very happy. And then the last team, the Clippers. Kawhi is in play. If he plays, he's probably not going to see that many minutes, but Kawhi can go off in a little amount of time. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams are the two guys I'm really considering. Hopefully Laundry Shamet plays. But yeah, Zubac, Lou Wills, Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell in particular is the go-to guy for me here regardless. He's just someone that goes out there and competes at 150% every single game. Lou Williams has been somewhat reduced in the preseason, his minutes. But this being the last preseason game of the season, maybe they really want to ramp that up. Zubac, same thing. Last preseason game, maybe they want to ramp that up. If Beverly plays, I still don't like Beverly. There's other guys that probably play at this price with more scoring upside. With Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Kawhi Leonard, Laundry Shamet, Beverly is not the scoring option 1, 2, 3, or 4. He's scoring option number 5. That's not his job mainly. Harkless could be in play and J. Michael Green could be in play. Both of these guys could see extended minutes here since Paul George is still out and Kawhi is not going to be seeing his full allotment of minutes. So those two guys could be in play here. But aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I don't really like anybody else. I'm going to quickly go over each position and talk about who I really like. So Luka Doncic is in play for me. Trae Young is in play for me. Zach LaVine at this price I love. McCollum, if he plays at 6,100, I really like. Jamal Murray, cheaper than all of these mother suckers. 5,300, I definitely like him. Lou Williams, I definitely like him at this price for sure. Jeff Teague would be a safe play because this matchup is probably going to be the most competitive one out of all of them in my opinion. Jeff Teague's probably going to be seeing starter minutes here. Bembry's in play, especially if Trae Young's sitting. And Kendrick Nunn is in play if some of the Heat guys are sitting because they're on the front end of a back-to-back. But yeah, let's just pick someone here. Who would I initially go with? Let me just start my lineup with... I'll start with Jeff Teague here. And I already know I'm going with Jamal Murray in the shooting guard spot. But Jimmy Butler, 5,300. He's someone I really like. In fact, I'll go with Jimmy Butler. But other shooting guards, Luka, LaVine, I'm cool with them. Middleton with Giannis playing and some of these other guys, I don't really see the upside here, especially in a preseason game. McCollum, I like if he plays at 6,100 for sure. If they're not going to be reduced and they're going to treat this as another preseason game, then for sure I like that. Tyler Hero, I only like if some of the other guys are going to see reduced minutes or are benched for the front end of the back-to-back. Otherwise, I'll save Tyler Hero for tomorrow. Terrence Ross at this price, I'll pass. I'd rather go with Butler at like 500 less. I'd rather even go with Satoransky, Murray, Lou Williams, Jarrett Culver. Who else is there? Anybody good here? 4,400s for Gary Harris. I don't mind that. I like that. DiVincenzo, I don't mind that at all. 4,300. And same with Sterling Brown. I wouldn't mind playing those guys. Jerome Robinson. I gotta check his stats again. He slips my mind. I have a feeling he's a good play, but I have to recheck that. So check out Jerome Robinson. Small forward. Giannis, of course. I'm gonna be playing Giannis in almost everything. Kawhi, I'm not going to be playing in a lot of lineups, 7,500 and the minutes and all that. I'm not too fond of that. However, I do think the Clippers are going to want to see how he matches up with Porzingis in case they end up meeting each other in the playoffs. Jarrett Culver's a good punting spot here. Otto Porter, if he's going to be seeing minutes, is also really good here at this price. Winslow, if he's playing, is good. But Wiggins at 4,800 is really damn cheap, man. I'd go with Wiggins, but if Trae Young's not playing, then I'd switch Wiggins for Bembry. I think that's fair. Yeah, there's just a lot of guys here from the Denver Nuggets side. It really depends on who's starting and if anybody's sitting on the Denver Nuggets side. But yeah, the safest choice here would be Bembry in my opinion. But Wiggins has the most upside. I'll go with Wiggins. Okay, and then in the power forward, I'm just gonna stick Giannis in here, but Porzingis I really like. Bam Adebayo I really like. Zach Collins I really like. John Collins if he plays I like. Myers Leonard I like. I wouldn't mind playing him. Dragon Bender, I don't know. I'd rather play like Covington than Dragon Bender, but Dragon Bender has way more upside. I'm gonna put Porzingis or Antetokounmpo here, and then I'm gonna stick Bam in my center spot. I could go with Montrezl Harrell too, though. You know what? I'll go Montrezl Harrell for now. Just save some money. I know he's gonna go out there and play hard. And then in the guard position, I really have my eye on Jamal Murray. But like, I mean, if we get news that Dragic is playing 25 minutes, I really don't mind that. Kobe White should be in play at 5100 GPP play for sure. If Cody White's starting, which I doubt, Satoransky should be starting, and Levine. But if we get some news that maybe Chris Dodd's not playing or something, then I'd be more higher on Kobe White. But here, let's just go with I like Satoransky's matchup here against the Hawk. I think he should do good. I'm gonna stick Bam here in the power forward spot, and then I have 8,100. I straight coach said you gotta pass me the ball, guys. Okay, if you don't pass me the ball, then you're not gonna be starting anymore. Okay, it's that simple. It's my team. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with this lineup, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked anything I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I started this channel a couple of days ago, and a couple of weeks ago now, and it's been growing. I'm getting consistent views now, so I really appreciate all the concurrent viewers and all the people tuning in on a daily basis, listening to me blabber. You guys are awesome. If you guys want, leave your favorite lineups in the comments, and I will review them and let you know what I think of them. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. I'm on YouTube anyways, and on the internet looking for news and stuff, so I will do my best to help you guys out win some money. Hope you guys do great today, and I'll tune in tomorrow for my final preseason video. Best of luck tonight, guys. Take care. Bye bye.